What's good, gentlemen? The bearded one over here. I just want to have a conversation about this. The situation I want to talk about is that I want you guys to understand the power of your seed. When I talk about the seed, in this case, I'm talking about your biological seed. I'm talking about busting a nut. I'm talking about coming. I'm talking about all that. I'm not going to talk about retention because I don't know. I'm not a big fan of that discussion, but I do believe in self control. That's the part I would join in and agree with. You must have self control over your sexuality, and you are not controlled just by a woman taking off her clothes or a woman dressing in a sexy manner. It makes you lose control of your cognitive functions or your ability to look away or walk away or to remain on goal or on your purpose. Now, by the seed, I'm talking about that. Man, it's a discussion I wish I could have had when I was 15. I don't have kids, but I wish I had a discussion like this at 15. A discussion about when you become an adolescent, when you become a man, when you become able to impregnate a female. That is something that this should be discussed between old men and young men and society and men. I would really think that that is the time that a young man should be told, you have changed. Now you have the capacity and capability to bring life into the world. You have the ability to give your seed to a girl that you choose and create life, to create another human being. That is a great responsibility, my son. That is not something that you can easily do without proper thinking of the consequence. That is a whole human life that you're bringing forth. Within you is now the capability to raise a family, to create a family, to pass on your seed to this woman is to link yourself to her for the rest of your life. Whether you don't want to be in that child's life or you are in that child's life, the combination of your seed, her eggs in her womb, is the beginning of the creation of a linkage genetically of our family or your family and the family of that girl. You have linked them physically, permanently, for the duration of the life of that child. If that child gives birth to other children in the future, those are your grandchildren. Those are a direct descendant of the seed of life you brought into the world. Without your seed brought into the world, those people would not exist. So you've set in forth a chain reaction. You set in motion a whole new trajectory of human existence by giving your seed to a woman. That is why it cannot be taken lightly, because there are women who are not ready to handle that situation. They have not lived enough. They have not experienced enough. They still would like to explore the world sexually and otherwise with different partners before settling on one. And the accidental termination of that process by you impregnating her will not change that trajectory of her behavior and will put you at the mercy of an individual whose behavior will anger you and throw you off your center and not give your child the best upbringing that your child deserves, thereby making your life brought into the world have a miserable existence and on top of that be less than who they should be as individuals and as people. So you should be careful before putting your seed inside a woman carelessly. You should understand the consequences are great and they are grave. You are bringing into union a family from the girl's side to yours. Is her family worthy? Or let's rather not try to be so elitist. Let's rather say, is her family the kind of family you would like your family to be with, to work with, and to grow with? There are many families that would bring nothing but negative beliefs, systems of thinking, negative visions, financial ruin, and derail the progress and prosperity of your own family by the act of you giving your seed to their daughter, to their niece, or whoever that you engage with. You have to be aware of that you are not just linking yourself to that girl on many levels. You are linking your family to that girl's family by giving your seed to her. Your seed changes so many things, not just for you, but for the families involved as well. That is a new human life which changes the dynamic of the size of their families, of the direction their families go, and of what happens next. So you've got to be aware of that your seed is a powerful thing. It shouldn't just be given to every female like it's a free cup of milk from an aid foundation. That is something you have to be very certain before you give it to somebody. And you also have to be guarded against people who will mislead you into believing they want to have or be that person with you, but have other intentions. Some people will only want you to implant their seed within them because it guarantees them legal access to your finances and to your resources, to your energy and time. They have no intent whatsoever to actually be with you or to nurture and raise a child together with you. If you would like to be in the life of your child, which you should, because you have great knowledge and great value, direction, and leadership to give to that child, and to help them be the best that they could be in the world, if you give your seed to a woman that has only in your life for your financial gain, only for the legal benefits of having your child, then you have placed yourself at the mercy of her abuse and her ability to play to the legalities of the state that you might presently be in. Whether you're 15, 17, 21, 41, it will make no difference. The laws in many places will put power in the receiver of your seed, not in the giver of the seed. You should also be aware that is why there are women chasing down men of value, men in the NBA, the NFL, and other places across the world that are doing financially well. There are females that are chasing down these men with an aim to get themselves impregnated by your seed as a man of value. Not only that, they are willing to do anything to ensure that takes place. This includes stealing your sperm, taking it out of a condom where you have deposited this seed of yours, and impregnating themselves illegally, forcefully attaching themselves to you financially and otherwise. And unfortunately, the laws of many states have failed to see this as a crime of the gravest and most fundamental type to exist in human history, and have rather taken the opinion that it's the child of the seed giver, regardless if the seed giver gave permission to do so or not, and was aware of the act or not. This means you have to be guarding your seed. You can't just allow it to lie around anywhere or just give it to anybody. You've got to be careful of the intentions of people towards your seed, because the minute you become a man, and a man of value on top of that, your seed becomes a target. Because by having your seed in her, a woman gains access to your fortune, to your influence, or the ability to blackmail you or hold you hostage to achieve her objectives, using your seed as the weapon of achieving it. You should always be aware of this. Your seed is a valuable entity. Your seed is something that you should take care of. You should look after. Be careful whom you share it with. Be careful whom you give it to. Vet the person before you for health, that they do not have diseases, they do not have a history of deformities and defects in their family. Vet them out for their intentions towards you. Is this a person that has intentions of raising your child or having your children from a position of love, an intent of being one with you, of being supportive, of raising a family with you? Do they want these children for the sake of entrenching and the connection to you as a human being and of crystallizing the unity between the two of you via the children that you have for the right reasons, with an intent to have a family, to raise them together, to bring the best out of yourselves and your children, to make the sacrifices required of you and her to do so? You must be aware that the putting of your seed within a woman puts you in a position where you are financially responsible for that individual's life, and legally they can be tools used to do that. That's a responsibility you have to be ready for and have to decide to take on before you agree or allow this to happen. That is why it's so important for you to look after and be careful and be certain of what you're doing with your seed and the man force within you and the energy to create life within you. Do not believe or confuse yourself or delude yourself that every woman that you meet, that you have intercourse with, is deserving of your seed being implanted within her. That is not the truth. The truth is that there are women that you will like, that you do not see a future with. There are women that you will be with that do prove themselves to be disloyal or unable to be the person that you need them to be to raise a family or grow together. There are many reasons why things cannot work out. And being aware of that, you have to be cautious of where you put your seed. Because if you are not, the consequences can derail your life. And in the case of some men, it can completely destroy their careers and their ability to find joy for the rest of their life. So, as you are now a man who is capable of giving life, be aware this is a privilege of the highest magnitude, of the highest order, and it requires you to be responsible for what happens with the seed that is within you. Do not give it without thinking, without thought, and do not allow women to manipulate you to get your seed until you are ready for the consequences thereof, because you will have to deal with it. You never know if she's going to stay around or if she's going to run off with another guy or she's going to stay with you. Therefore, you have to be very certain that regardless of the outcome, I am willing to go with it. I'm willing to live with it. I am happy and fine with it. This shall be fine with me. Hopefully, that helps you see a different way to consider your seed and consider what it means to be a man, what it means to be a father, to be a leader, and otherwise. Because remember, children will take up your time, and that's time you have to be willing to give. Nothing worse than having a woman you do not want, have a child you do not want, and have your time, energy, money, and other parts of you consumed by the act of trying to look after or go a direction you had no intention of ever going. Until next time, remember, guys, do more, be more, become more on your purpose.